and today we are going to be learning about inches, and we are going to be measuring objects and estimating inches. We're going to start on page 645, and we're right here. We're talking about inches. We have a few objects that they've given us pictures of. We have the ruler so that you can see what 1 inch is. So from the 0, starting right at the 0 to the 1 is 1 inch. So this one in particular goes to 3 inches. Now, I didn't have a ruler at home, and I don't know if you have a ruler at home, but I found the closest thing that I could, which is this measuring tape. So I'm going to use my measuring tape, and I'm going to measure this peg, this golf tee. So I'm going to start right at the 0. So for my measuring tape, the 0 is right here at the end of this metal clip. I'm going to start at the end of the tee, and I'm going to go measure it all the way to the other end. So this one is 2 inches. So I'm going to write 2 inches. The next one we have is a marker. So again, I'm going to take my measuring tape, and I'm going to start at the tip of the marker with that metal tip, which is where the 0 is or would be on a ruler. And I'm going to go all the way to the other end. And so this ruler is 6 inches. So I'm going to write a 6. Now let's take a look at the crayon. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the golf tee and with the marker. I'm going to start at the tip of the crayon, and I'm going to go to the other end, which for this crayon is 3 inches. Last one is this hockey puck. So I'm going to measure my hockey puck from one end to the next. My hockey puck is 3 inches. So I'm going to write 3 inches. Okay, so let's turn to page 646. Like I said, we're talking about inches, but in this particular lesson, we're also going to do some estimating. And estimating just means that we're making good guesses about what we think it's going to be. So let's look at number 1 right over here, and there is a box of chalk. We're going to estimate about how many inches we think the box of chalk is going to be. Now my estimate, if I'm thinking about a box of chalk, there's my box of chalk. I think my box of chalk, actually this is a box of crayons, but I think that this box is going to be about 3 inches. Now I didn't measure it. I'm going to make a guess about how many inches I think it's going to be. I might be right, I might be wrong, and that's okay because I just guessed. Okay, now if I were to take a lunchbox and measure it from the start of one side all the way to the other side, how many inches do I think that might be? I'm going to say 6 inches. And that's my estimate. Remember, I might be right, I might be wrong. Since I don't have a lunchbox with me, the only thing I can measure today is this box of chalk. But I want you to just understand what the difference is between estimating and actually measuring, okay? So here's my tape measure. I'm going to measure from one end. Remember I said it starts where the 0 would be. For me, it's that metal clip right there. I'm going to put it on one end. I'm going to go all the way to the other end, and it's 3 inches. So I was right. I don't have a lunchbox, so I can't actually measure what the lunchbox is. If you have a lunchbox at home, though, you can go ahead and you can measure it. And I'm hoping that you have a ruler with you somewhere, whether it's a measuring tape or just a school ruler. Hopefully you've gotten your pencil box and you had that in your box. Okay, let's turn to page 647. Okay, on page 647, we are going to be doing some estimating. Remember, estimating is a good guess on what you think it's going to be. Knowing what we know about inches from the last page we just did, we are going to estimate on number 3 what we think the shoe is going to be. So it would depend on if it was your shoe or my shoe, exactly what it would be. So I'm going to think about what my shoe is, and I'm going to guess that my shoes are probably about, let's see, 7 inches. Okay. Now I am going to go ahead and do number 4. And what I want you to do is go ahead and estimate with me. And then if you have a ruler at home, I'm going to ask you to pause the video when we're done and go ahead and go back and measure that, okay? So let's do number 4. Let's estimate the scissors. I feel like the scissors will probably be about 4 inches. And you don't have to agree with me. If you think that they're going to be something else, you can estimate your own number. It's okay to write down your estimate. You don't have to copy mine. Okay, now I'm going to think, I'm going to look at number 5, and this is a paintbrush, and I'm going to estimate that a paintbrush is about 6 inches. Okay. Number 6 is a piece of paper. And I'm going to guess that that is about 11 inches. Number 7 is a school desk, which chances are nobody has one of those at home. But I'm going to guess that the school desk is about 18 inches. Okay? So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to get the ruler, whatever ruler that you have, and I want you to go around your house and measure any of these objects that you might have. Even if you don't have these objects, that's okay. I want you to go around and measure anything. Measure a spoon. It's kind of the same length as a paintbrush might be. Measure a magazine or a book instead of paper if you don't have loose leaf paper. Instead of the desk, you can measure the table, or you can measure maybe a side table, maybe by your bed or maybe in the living room. Anything. I just want you to go and measure, okay? So go ahead and pause the video right now. Go ahead and measure and then come back, okay? Okay, I hope you had some fun measuring and estimating and finding out if your estimates were correct, or if they weren't correct, that you're kind of getting a better understanding of what an inch is. We're going to be doing some more measuring in this chapter, but so I want you to get used to doing that, okay? Let's look at number 8. Let's do a little problem solving. So number 8, read it with me. Kaya's surfboard must be at least 15 inches longer than 48 inches. Should Kaya choose a surfboard that is 55 inches long or 65 inches long? Okay, so what do we know? Remember, we always try to attack these word problems with the same sort of strategy. So let's highlight what we know. We know that Kaya's surfboard must be at least 15 inches longer than 48 inches. So now I need to know if she should get the surfboard that's 55 inches long or 65 inches long. The way that I'm going to figure out is if it has to be at least 15 inches longer than 48 inches, I need to find out what that is. So I'm going to take 48. I'm going to add 15 more inches to 48. And when I get this number, I'm going to hopefully know which one of these to pick. So let's add 8 plus 5 is 13. Regroup that 10. So now I have 4, 5, 6. So 63. So the surfboard has to be at least 63 inches. So can she choose the 55-inch one? Nope, she's got to pick the 65 inch. So I'm going to write 65 inches long. Okay. Let's do number 9 together. Again, read it with me. Owen's foot is 6 inches long. His dad's foot is 6 inches longer than Owen's foot. How long is his dad's foot? Okay, so let's highlight what we know. We know that Owen's foot is 6 inches long. His dad's foot is 6 inches longer. What are they wanting us to find? They want us to find how long is his dad's foot. So if I know Owen's foot is 6 inches, and I know his dad's is 6 inches longer, that means I need to add Owen's foot and his dad's foot together. 6 plus 6 is a double fact, right? It's 12. So how long is his dad's foot? It's 12 inches. Okay, let's do number 10 together. Read it with me again. Carter estimates his math book is 7 inches long. Wyatt estimates it is 15 inches long. The book is 8 inches long. Whose estimate is closer? Okay, let's go back and highlight what we know. Carter estimates his book is 7 inches. Wyatt estimates that it's 15 inches. The book is actually 8 inches long. So which one of these is longer? Or I'm sorry, which one of these was closer? Was 7 inches closer or 15 inches closer? The 7 inches is closer, right? Even though it was a little bit short, 7 is closer to the number 8 than 15 is to the number 8. So 7 is the closest estimate. Okay, it was the closest guess. All right, so I want you guys to go ahead and do page 649 and 650 for homework, and I'll see you guys on the next lesson.